stop slipping and stop cutting your socks. We have 15 different color options between 3 grip socks and 2 sleeve types. Something for everybody at a price that just makes sense. Available now at puregripsocks.com.
I just spent way too much time weighing every single football boot currently on the market using this scale to find out which ones are the lightest. And in doing so, I've made a list of 16 total pairs that weigh in at under 200 grams. Where the point of this video isn't me trying to convince you that lighter boots are going to make you faster, because that simply isn't true. But the weight of your football boots definitely has a big impact on the way that they feel. And if your boots feel lighter, you might feel faster. And there is a huge amount of power to your brain thinking that because your boots are lighter, you are now going to move more quickly. Where of course, the way that you think and the importance you put on your football boots is going to vary a lot from person to person. But if you've ever gotten a new pair of speed boots and immediately thought, wow, I feel faster, that's probably why. So with that in mind, starting from 16 going all the way up to 1, we're about to find out what the lightest football boots on the market are. All of which, by the way, you can pick up below their normal retail prices by way of some exclusive SR4U coupon codes via the links down below. And really quickly before we get started, if you enjoy the video, drop a like, and if you just appreciate real unsponsored information, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on my reviews of all the latest football boots of 2025. Starting with what are technically tied for the heaviest boots you'll see in this video, the made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 non-beta. So this is the more traditional variation without the one-piece upper construction and more of a synthetic leather through the midfoot rather than that mesh-based material. They weigh in, as you can see, at 7 ounces exactly, the equivalent of 199 grams, just making the cut by 1 gram. And maybe this is kind of funny because it's a football boot that's drawn a lot of comparisons to the Morelia Neo, both in terms of features as well as aesthetics. The Copa Icon 2 from Adidas weighs in at 7 ounces exactly, the equivalent of 199 grams. Getting even lighter now, we have the Skechers Razor 1.5. On a scale, they weigh in at 7 ounces exactly, but as you can see, 1 gram less at 198. Another pair of speed boots falling into the sub 200 gram weight range is the Sokito Scudetta, which weighs in at also 7 ounces exactly and also 198 grams. Not a speed boot, but still very lightweight, is the New Balance Tequila V4 Plus Pro Low. They weigh in at 6.9 ounces or 196 grams. Some might be a little surprised to see these so far down the list, but the Nike Zoom Mercurial Superfly 10 Elite weighs in at 6.9 ounces or 195 grams. While I'm not the biggest fan of New Balance swapping the leather in the forefoot for full synthetic on the 442 V2 Pro, there is no denying how lightweight these boots are. Again, despite not being classified as speed boots, they weigh in at a very lightweight 6.85 ounces or 194 grams. In my opinion, one of the best speed boots on the market right now, certainly if responsiveness is a priority, is the Mizuno Alpha 2. This in particular is the Elite variation. There is also the Made in Japan model, which weighs pretty much the same thing and feels the same as well, so why not spend significantly less on the Elites? They weigh in at a very lightweight 6.85 ounces, the equivalent of 194 grams. While they're maybe not as light as the Adizero days, the current Adidas F50 Elite is definitely one of the lighter boots on the market right now, where you can see that they weigh in at 6.8 ounces or 193 grams. Once again, the marketing can be a little bit misleading because the Predator is technically classified as a control boot, but the laceless Predator 25 Elite, as you can see, weighs in at a very lightweight 6.8 ounces, the equivalent of 193 grams, exactly the same as the F50s. Also not a control boot and lighter than the Superflies that I already showed you is the Nike Phantom GX2 Elite, which you can see weigh in at 6.8 ounces or 192 grams. One pair I think we'd all expect to be pretty close to the top of the list would be the Nike Zoom Mercurial Vapor 16 Elite, which is in fact very lightweight. They weigh in at 6.7 ounces, the equivalent of 189 grams. Which now brings us into the territory where we're legitimately splitting hairs. The laceless F50 Elite from Adidas is obviously going to be very lightweight. You can see that they weigh in at 6.5 ounces, the equivalent of 185 grams. The New Balance 442 version 2 Elite, again, not a pair of speed boots, not at all one you'd expect to find near the top of this list, but as you can see, they weigh in at a very lightweight 6.5 ounces, or 185 grams. Which brings us to the top two, where we have the very expensive and super unique Adidas F50 Plus, also a laceless football boot. You can see that they weigh in at an extremely lightweight 6.5 ounces, 184 grams. And then finally, at the one spot, we have the New Balance Furon V8 Elite, where New Balance across the board is just very lightweight as a brand right now. You can see that their latest speed boots weigh in at 6.5 ounces, or 184 grams, exactly the same as the F50 Plus.